Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta shares worrying update on Gabriel Magalhaes' injury. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal picked up a fantastic win over Chelsea at the Emirates yesterday, but Gabriel Magalhaes hobbling off the pitch with an injury was a worrying sight. The Gunners absolutely battered the Blues in the first half. They went 3-0 up thanks to a brace from Martin Odegaard and a close-range strike from Gabriel Jesus, but it could easily have been five. The Arsenal boss was a happy man after the game, but he admitted that he is concerned about Gabriel's injury. Arsenal were so dominant in the first half against Chelsea last night. Arteta's plan to bring Jorginho into midfield worked brilliantly, and he, along with Gabriel Magalhaes and Jakub Kiwior behind him, started all of the Gunners' attack. Kiwior got all the plaudits following his impressive full debut, but Gabriel had a solid game too. However, the Brazilian appeared to be in a lot of pain for much of the second half and went down on multiple occasions. He tried really hard, but he just couldn't continue. Arteta took him off, and the Arsenal boss revealed after the game that he is concerned about the defender's injury. He said in his press conference, as per Arsenal.com, he wasn't comfortable. We tried for 10 or 15 minutes, but he could not carry on, which is strange for Gabi. So we are a bit concerned about that because normally he is not one that wants to leave the pitch. Losing Gabriel would be a massive blow for Arsenal ahead of their trip to one of the toughest grounds in the Premier League next, St James Park. The Gunners know firsthand how difficult a game against Newcastle is. They lost there at the end of last season, and they would have seen their neighbours get battered 6-1 there just over a week ago. Arsenal are already without William Saliba, and that has hurt them. To lose Gabriel too would be absolutely disastrous ahead of the final four games of the season. We are sure Arteta will be praying that Gabriel has only picked up a tiny knock and will be fit for the game this weekend. Mikel Arteta responds when asked if William Saliba will play against Newcastle United. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has admitted that he is unsure if William Saliba will be back in time to face Newcastle United this weekend. The Gunners got their title hopes back on track with a 3-1 win over their London rivals at Chelsea last night. Arteta made a few changes to the starting lineup, with Rob Holding dropping out for Jakub Kiwior. It's no secret that Arsenal have struggled defensively over the past few weeks, largely due to William Saliba's absence. The Frenchman picked up an injury in Arsenal's Europa League exit to Sporting Lisbon back in March, and it remains unclear whether he will feature before the season ends. And Arteta admitted to Sky Sport last night that he is unsure if Saliba will be fit for the St James Park trip on Sunday. Speaking to Sky Sport after the last night win over Chelsea, Arteta was asked if Saliba could be in line to feature against Newcastle, but the Arsenal boss responded, "I don't know yet." Saliba has been a huge miss for Arsenal over the past few weeks. The 22-year-old has been a standout performer alongside Gabriel Magalhaes this season. Before his injury, he had started in every single Premier League game during the current campaign, and Arsenal's defensive record without him in the side just shows how important he is. But Arteta will be encouraged by Kiwior's display last night. The 23-year-old was handed his first start in the Premier League, and while Chelsea didn't exactly put him to the test, he dealt with everything that came his way. Nevertheless, Kivir will certainly be tested on Sunday at Newcastle, and Arteta will be hopeful that Saliba returns before the end of the campaign. Cesc Fabregas shares what he's been told from behind the scenes about Jakub Kiwior. Cesc Fabregas shared what he had heard behind the scenes about Jakub Kiwior before the Arsenal defender made his full Premier League debut on Tuesday. Fabregas was speaking on Sky Sport ahead of the Gunners' dismantling of Chelsea at the Emirates. It was largely a walk in the park for Mikel Arteta's side. They raced into a 3-0 lead during the first half and ultimately should have scored several more. The game presented Jakub Kiwior with a big opportunity The 23-year-old has had to be patient following his move in the January transfer window, but he was handed a start ahead of Rob Holding against Frank Lampard's man. It was a big call given the importance of the game for the Gunners, but Cesc Fabregas suggested that he had heard a lot of positive things about the youngster ahead of his full Premier League debut. He said, "From what I heard, the boy is working really hard, training really well. He is very fast. He needs games as well to know the players and to get to know each other. I am sure he will be an important player for the club." It was a surprise how easy Chelsea made life for Arsenal. The Blues have been woeful, particularly in the last few weeks, but Mikel Arteta's men have not found the going easy either of late, and Kivir struggled when he came in for the Europa League tie with Sporting earlier this season, so the visitors may have hoped to put some pressure on him. However, Kivir was steady in possession, only needed to make one tackle, and no player managed to make more interceptions than the centre back, according to who scored. That could be important with Gabriel coming off with an injury and William Saliba already sidelined. It seems that Kivir could have a big role to play in the remaining stages of the campaign. Brighton planning move for a special Arsenal player this summer. Brighton now reportedly intend to try and sign Arsenal forward Reece Nelson on a free transfer this summer. Nelson has found opportunities hard to come by under Mikel Arteta this season, despite impressing whenever he is come off the bench. The 23-year-old has provided some brilliant moments in an Arsenal shirt this campaign, particularly his last-minute winner against Bournemouth. He is managed to bag 3 goals and 2 assists in just 8 Premier League appearances, and with his contract set to expire in the summer, it's no surprise that he is attracting plenty of interest. Indeed, Fabrizio Romano claimed yesterday that 8 clubs have already spoken with Nelson ahead of his deal coming to an end this summer. Now, the Daily Mail report that Brighton will enter the race to sign him on a free this summer, but only if the winger decides against extending his stay in North London. The outlet claims that Brighton are planning to make a formal offer to sign Nelson on a free transfer this summer. Arsenal have offered this Englishman a new deal, with Mikel Arteta seemingly keen to keep hold of the high-end academy product. Several Premier League sides are also showing interest in Nelson, but the Seagulls will offer him a contract should he decide his future lies away from Arsenal. Nelson has been labelled a special talent, and he is proven to be a useful squad player for Arteta this summer. It would be no surprise if he opts to remain at his boyhood club, but he may have ambitions to play regularly elsewhere. Brighton seems like a good move for him on paper too, with Roberto De Zerbi doing an excellent job at the Amex Stadium. The Italian boss has already shown a willingness to work with younger players, and Nelson would fit in perfectly at Brighton. Mark Schwarzer hails £45 million Arsenal star, who is the complete opposite of Chelsea. Arsenal star Gabriel Jesus earned praise from BBC Sport pundit Mark Schwarzer after Tuesday night's Premier League win over Chelsea. The Premier League icon lauded the Gunners' forwards' contribution all over in terms of helping the team. Schwarzer also commented on how Arsenal's goals have come from a number of players this season, which has been key. By contrast, Chelsea's situation has been the complete opposite, resulting in their struggles in the lower half of the table. Arsenal ran out 3-1 winners over the Blues, a result that put the Gunners back on top of the Premier League table. Captain Martin Odegaard bagged a brace, while Jesus added a third for Arsenal in the first half. Noni Madwick netted in the second half, but it proved a mere consolation in the end. Mikel Arteta's Chargers now have 4 players with 10 or more league goals this season. By contrast, just 2 Chelsea players, Kai Havertz and Raheem Sterling, have scored more than 5 this term. Jesus has 10 Premier League goals for Arsenal, but also has 6 assists. Schwarzer, speaking on Radio 5 Live, believes the £45 million man's contributions sum up what the Gunners are about. He said, "If you look at Arsenal, Gabriel Jesus is their number 9. His contribution is immense. Arsenal have spread the goals among a number of players, and that has been key for them this season. You look at Chelsea, and it's the complete opposite. Arsenal deserve to be where they are. They have played very well against Chelsea and over the course of the season. Jamie Carragher says he loves watching £30 million Arsenal man play football. Jamie Carragher walks it lyrical about Martin Odegaard's display for Arsenal against Chelsea last night. The Gunners got back to winning ways with a comfortable 3-1 win over their London rivals Chelsea. Mikel Arteta's men completely dominated the game and headed into half-time 3 goals to the good. Martin Odegaard bagged a brace in the opening 30 minutes with 2 well-taken finishes. The 24-year-old was allowed to drift into Chelsea's box on 2 occasions and made no mistake when he got his opportunities. Odegaard has been exceptional for Arsenal this season, and after a tough evening at the Etihad Stadium last week, he played a key role in keeping their title hopes alive with a captain's performance against the Blues. Carragher named the £30 million playmaker the man of the match on Sky Sport and admitted that he loves watching him play. The Liverpool legend was co-commentating on the game and claimed that Odegaard has been one of the standout performers in the Premier League this season. He said, "He is man of the match. He has been one of the best players in the Premier League this season. I love watching him play." Mykhailo Modric breaks silence after Arsenal fan shines laser in his face. Chelsea star Mykhailo Modric has had his say after a laser was pointed at his face during the game against Arsenal at the Emirates last night. The Ukraine international came off the bench in the second half and was welcomed with boos. Arsenal fans do not like him after they missed out on his signature in January. Booing him is one thing, but to shine a laser in his face is probably unacceptable. Arsenal were heavily linked with a move to sign Mykhailo Modric in the January transfer window. A move even seemed imminent at one point, and the Ukrainian was dropping all sorts of hints on social media, suggesting that he is keen on a move to the Emirates. Chelsea, however, swooped in with a better offer than Arsenal and sealed the deal to sign Modric. He moved to Stamford Bridge instead of the Emirates, and Gunners fans haven't been too fond of him since. That's why there were boos every time he touched the ball yesterday. But shining a laser in his face is way too far, and we are sure the fan who did that will be punished. Modric, however, appeared to be in a forgiving mood. He posted a picture of himself with the laser light on his face and wrote, "It's okay." Arteta confident he can bring one of the best in the world to Arsenal. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta is increasingly confident he can convince Declan Rice to join the Gunners this summer. This is according to the Mirror, who provided an update on the Gunners' stance towards the West Ham captain. Arsenal have been heavily linked with Rice over the past few months. The Gunners could do with bolstering their midfield ranks in the summer transfer window. At present, they don't have much strength and depth after Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka. Meanwhile, Rice is continuing to impress for club and country and looks ready for a step up to a title-challenging club. The Mirror says Arteta, who used to play in midfield himself, believes he can help convince the 24-year-old to join. He will urge Arsenal to make an official approach for the England star once the season has ended, added the report. Arteta apparently wants to hold talks with Rice as soon as possible, presumably to steal a march on the competition. As one of England's top midfielders, Rice is an ever-present on the transfer rumour mill. However, it looks increasingly likely that the midfielder could potentially leave this summer. Rice's contract runs until next summer with the option of another year, and he has seemingly rejected offers of a new deal. West Ham have also been flirting with relegation this season, and they are not safe yet. Meanwhile, Rice has made it clear he wants to play at the highest level. Rice believes he is one of the best in the world, and there are a lot of people who agree with this statement. With that in mind, a move to Arsenal, who look Champions League bound, seems like a logical next step. However, the Gunners may well have a challenge on their hands negotiating with West Ham, who want £100 million for their main asset. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.